Chapter 1 in geography, we are going to deal about environment. So, what is environment? What does it contain? Why do we need to study about the environment? What comes under environment? All these things we will be discussing in this chapter. Coming to the definition of the word environment. Environment is something, in simple words, we can say as the basic life support system. The system which needs to support the life on the planet Earth is known as environment. We need a set of conditions to be in place in order to live happily, to survive on this planet. So, the conditions which are required to survive on this planet is known as environment. We also call it as the basic life support system. What is there in the basic life support system? Students, when it comes to division of the factors, what comes under the basic life support system? The first factor we remember is, as it is essential for every one of us, is to breathe. So, we inhale air. So, in this entire planet, we have air, the atmosphere. Then, the next important one is water. We need water for our every day-to-day needs. When we are thirsty, we quench our thirst with water. Then we need food to survive, to keep our body fit, and we need land to live. So, these are the main components which come under the basic life support system, that is the air, water, food and land. So, in the environment, the basic life support system, it is a combination of air, water, land and food. Now, if you observe them carefully, air, water, land, all these are naturally available for us. By nature, they are gifted to the humans. So, we can broadly categorize the basic life support system into two categories, that is the natural and the human made components. What are the natural components? The natural components are air, water, land, plants, animals. All these come under natural, by nature given as a gift to all the human mankind. Coming to the human made things, whatever things, road, infrastructure, industries, cars, vehicles, all these things come under human made things for our convenience, for our most luxurious lifestyles. We started to discover new things from the things which are available from the nature. That's why we call them as human made things. So, in the ecosystem, we have basic life support system. In the basic life support system, the basic things are air, water, land and food. We can broadly categorize them into two categories, that is the natural and the human made components. We can also categorize them in the science terms as biotic and abiotic organisms. What is biotic and what is abiotic? Ecosystem can also be called as the combination of biotic and the abiotic organisms. What is biotic and what is abiotic? Biotic means which consists of all the living organisms. All the things which have life in this planet come under biotic category. All the things which are not coming under life or which doesn't have life come under abiotic. The examples for biotic is plants and animals. When it comes to the abiotic, we have the non-living elements, all which are available on this planet come under abiotic. It can be land, it can be rocks, all these things come under abiotic. So, to brief understanding of the word environment, the environment means the surroundings what we have around us. The place where you stay. If you are staying in a community, we have so many buildings, playgrounds, roads, parks, clubs, All this comes under environment according to you. The place where you are staying has an environment. If you are in a school has a different environment. If you are in an office, the office has a different setup, different environment. So basing on the different areas where you stay, the environment changes. But the basic meaning of the word environment is like which is necessary for us to lead a life on this planet. The basic life supporting system on this planet is broadly known as environment. It consists of air, water, land and food for the humans, and it is also coming under the category of biotic and abiotic, where we have all the living plants and animals, and the biotic category, well, all the non-living things like rocks, stones, buildings, infrastructure, all come under abiotic things. Humans started to create his own houses, his own requirements like roads, cars, vehicles, two-wheelers, four-wheelers, all these as per his requirement for his convenience to stay comfortably, to travel comfortably, to reach a place in time. For all these things, he started to make his own environment apart from what is given by the nature freely for us. Nature has gifted us with certain things in the environment. Along with that, we also have things which are created by man. That's why we can broadly categorize. Whenever we look at the environment in the area where we stay, we find different set of things. We find plants, we find fields, we find parks, we find roads, we find big buildings, we find supermarkets. So in this we have the natural things which are made, given by the nature for the entire human mankind. Let us take the plants, trees, animals, all come out of this. The human made things, let us say supermarket, the buildings which are tall buildings which we are constructed, or the road, the infrastructure which is laid. So environment is a combination of the basic life support system which can contain the human made things or the man made things, and is also containing the biotic and the abiotic organisms or the things on this planet. So as we discussed till now about the environment, what is the basic meaning of environment? What does it contain? As we discussed earlier, it contains land, it contains water, it contains air, it contains the living creatures, biotic, all the living organisms, all the plants, everything. And this gives an opportunity for us to live on the planet. It gives a system which is necessary and mandatory for the entire human mankind to survive on this planet. So let us now learn in detail what does the ecosystem contain, what is the environment, what do we call as a natural environment. The natural environment is something which is land, water, atmosphere or air, and all the living particles and the man-made things together. We call them as the basic environment. Now let us go in detail for each part and let us increase our understanding over the concepts of land, water, air and all the living organisms. So these all are broadly categorized into 4 parts of the earth, that is 4 realms of the earth. When we study about our planet earth, we can broadly categorize them into 4 different categories. That is, as we generally call them as land, all the soil, rocks, mountains, plains, plateaus, the thicker part, the place where we stand, everything comes under a single umbrella called lithosphere. So lithosphere is a solid crust on the layers of the earth. In that again we have the divisions of the layers of the earth like crust, core and mantle. These details of the lithosphere we will study in next chapter. Inside the layers of the earth, what is there under the layers of the earth, that we will discuss in the next part of the letter. But before that, let us now try to understand what is lithosphere first, the basic definition of lithosphere. This is the first realm of the earth. In the first realm of the earth, lithosphere, the entire land the entire solid crust part of our earth comes under lithosphere. That is irregular or regular shapes. It can be any structure on the sand, on the soil or anything comes under lithosphere only. Then all the mountains, starting from the tiny mountains to the largest Mount Everest on the world, every mountain comes under the category of lithosphere. Every plateau comes under the category of lithosphere. Every plain comes under the category of lithosphere. Every valley, whatever we have, whatever land, high, low, medium, lower level, completely lower, even under the oceans, whatever the layers of the floor is left, that also comes under lithosphere. So the entire land part on this planet Earth can be broadly divided into mountains, plains, plateaus, valleys. Ocean floor comes under lithosphere. So lithosphere is entire land part on the earth comes under lithosphere. Water, we need water. From the moment we get up, we need water for various activities. Starting of the day starts with a drop of water. So even before we go to bed, we have a sip of water and we sleep. We always maintain a water bottle side of us, because whenever we feel thirst, in order to quench our thirst, we need water. So water, the entire water, starting from the tiny droplet on this planet to the vast water body, that is ocean. We have 5 oceans: Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Arctic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Antarctic or the Southern Ocean. All these 5 oceans together, including the lakes, including the rivers, including the ponds, including the seas, oxbow lakes, meanders, every tiny droplet of water to the largest particle or largest collection of water, the ocean, comes under the category of hydrosphere. It consists of lakes, rivers, seas, oceans, and the fishes, the organisms, the algae which live in the water bodies all together come under the single umbrella, that is hydrosphere. This is the second important realm of the earth. We need land to stay, we need water to survive, but the other important thing is we need air to breathe. Imagine a situation where there is no air for a minute. You are nowhere. You are nowhere. Literally, you are nowhere. Because without air, we cannot survive on this planet. So breathe air. So the air blanket present around the planet Earth is called atmosphere. So the planet Earth is surrounded by a blanket of air which contains of oxygen, which contains of nitrogen, which consists of different kinds of gases. All these together we call it as atmosphere. This atmosphere has a gravitational pull. Why? As Newton got the doubt that why the apples are not going up, he discovered the gravitational force concept. So all these things happen in the atmosphere. We breathe, we inhale and we exhale, then only it is confirmed that we are alive. We are alive because atmosphere is present around this planet Earth. So third important layer of our planet Earth is atmosphere. So we have lithosphere, we have hydrosphere, we have atmosphere. Now coming to the last point, the most important realm of the earth, the division of the earth. Land is there, water is there, air is there. Land we are calling it as lithosphere, water we are calling it as hydrosphere, air we are calling it as atmosphere. But where is the human? Where are the plants? Where is the life? Where is the interaction happening? The land, the human stays on the land. Water, human being uses the water. Atmosphere, air, human being inhales air. But all the living creatures on this planet are brought as biosphere, called as biosphere. Biosphere is all the living things. It can be land, wind, air interacting at one place, because these all are valid, these all are useful resources only when we have a human who can know how to utilize the land properly, who can know how to use the water properly, who can know how to inhale and exhale the air. Then only these all are valuable things on this planet. Then only this is a necessary system on the planet. If there is no life on this planet, if there are rocks, if there are minerals, there is no much change in that. Rocks and minerals or diamonds would have the same value if there is no life on this planet, because there is no one to categorize them as these are rocks, these are useful minerals, and those are precious stones, those are diamonds. So, biosphere is the important atmosphere or important realm of the earth when compared to the atmosphere, when compared to the hydrosphere, when compared to the lithosphere. Lithosphere, hydrosphere, or the atmosphere, all these three are valid only when you have the biosphere in place, only when we have life on this planet earth, only when we are living creatures, when we have animals, when we have plants, when we are human beings present on this planet, then only the land can be used, the water can be used, the air can be used. And coming to the other important thing, what do we call all these things together? We are calling it on different names like lithosphere, the biosphere, the hydrosphere, or the atmosphere. And we discussed till now why is it important for us. But we have another word called ecosystem. Ecosystem is something which is very, very important for every human being to survive. That is the interaction of all the living organisms, the interaction of air with the human, the interaction of plants with the human, the interaction of animals through various ways, because everything is interconnected and interdependent here on this planet Earth. If you remember the concept of food chain, every small animal on this planet to the largest animal, everything is interconnected and they are interdependent. If any one animal misses the chain, the entire link of the chain gets disturbed. In the similar way, it is the land, water, air, or life. All these four are interconnected and interdependent. Without land, where do we stay? Without water, how do we stay? Without air, do we stay? Even if you are there also, you are not there. So, this is an ecosystem which is compulsory with the interaction of all these, that is the interaction of all the living organisms. And natural environment. The natural environment is a combination of all the important realms of the earth and the interactions of all the realms of the earth. That is the land, water, air, life, and the ecosystem. So, this is an important part, and which shows that how important for us these all are for a human to survive on this planet. Human environment. Till now we studied about what is ecosystem, what is the environment we studied. Now how did humans start to interact with them? Till now we discussed how the planet has been broadly categorized, what are the realms of the earth, how are they useful for human mankind. Now starting from the early man to the present day, how is man interacting with the environment and how did he create the human environment? Is he using it wisely or not? So the human environment, starting from the early man, man started to interact with the environment. Man started to interact with the nature. Man started to get adjusted with the advantages what he is getting from the nature. Man started to know what is available for him or gifted to him by the nature. So that is how first he interacted, and later after he started to interact, after he started to stay in the caves, he started to live in the caves which are naturally built homes. Later he started to modify them and build the houses from huts to houses. So he started to modify the nature. He started to build according to his convenience. So man started to alter the nation or the natural things, whatever is available for him naturally, as per the requirement, as per his convenience, he started to modify them. So modifications he has done. If you remember the early man, as I mentioned just now, the early man first used to live in huts. Later they started to live in Sorry, earlier he used to live in the caves, later he started to live in the huts. So now we are living in the houses, homes, villas. So all these things are the modifications which are done. Once the early man started to know what are the different varieties of fruits, different varieties of plants that are grown, later he started to know how to grow the crops, the cropping pattern, the system of agriculture, intensive agriculture, extensive agriculture, shifting agriculture, jumping agriculture, all these types of agriculture. Initially they started to practice them on a small piece of land. So he knew that there is a land. He learned how to do cultivation. He learned how to make what he want from what is available. Then he started to domesticate the animals. He domesticated the dogs. He tamed the dogs. He domesticated the buffaloes. He domesticated the cow. He domesticated the cattle for his requirements, which are already available in the nature. So he started to interact with them, understand them, analyze the situation. Then what did he need? He came to a conclusion. He developed the clarity on the concept of what he requires. Then he started to make as per his requirement, modify the existing things to his convenience. And later, the invention of the wheel made a revolutionary change in the lives of human mankind. With that, the system of agriculture production increased, supply of water increased, transportation increased. With the surplus production, the system of barter came into existence. Share what is excess to you. A person, if he is having more amount of rice, he would like to exchange the product with a person who is having milk or a cow who can give him milk daily, or who is having vegetables with him. So interchange of the goods as per the requirement is called barter system. This system is in place before the price system. So barter system was in existence, came into existence. Once the barter system existed, we got the concept of trade, interactions between one community and the other community, one region and the other region. The commerce developed, the commercial system developed. Then we have the industrial revolution, which has brought a revolution in the system of industries, in the production of the industries. The shift of handmade goods to machine-made goods, which got transformed during that period. That is the industrial production. So after industrial production, so as we look at the progress of the man, initially he started to live what is available to him. He started to learn how to use them. Then he started to modify them. Then he started to bring the changes. Then he started to do the invention of the wheel. Then he started to, the excess production or surplus production started to be shared. Then we have the trade. Then we have the commerce, industrial revolution. Then we have the transportation. The transport which made it very popular to him to reach very far distances at very short period of time. Then we have the information revolution. Today now we are talking about the internet connections, the 4G SIMs, the digital revolutions, Make in India concepts, which is making mandatory for everyone to interact with the information, which is known as information revolution. And after all these things, where is human heading towards? Is he able to use all the natural resources wisely? If human being is naturally using all the resources wisely, cleverly, or as per the requirements of the man, not according to his greed, as mentioned by Mahatma Gandhi, then why is the concept of global warming a serious debate from the past decade? So a man should learn, human should learn to use or to maintain the balance between the human made and the natural system what we got in place, and he should learn how to use the natural resources into the human requirements in a harmonious way. Then only the planet and the environment can survive. Then we cannot be scared. We already have to acknowledge the growth of temperatures in every corner of the world, the global warming concept. These all things are happening because there is an imbalance between the natural requirements or the natural availability for us and the human requirements what we are heading towards. So that balance has to be maintained harmoniously. We have to use them wisely. We have to use them properly. In simple words, we need to do according to our requirement, not according to our greed. So these are the important points what we have, like what is ecosystem, what is environment, what comes under the realms of the earth, and all these things what we have. And this is of the human environment. How did man start to use and how he is using now, how he has to plan and use. This is just a wake up call to all the human mankind to use the environment in a eco-friendly way.
If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel to get more videos on CBSE syllabus.